Hey yo, welcome to our channel today. I'm in my third year of marriage, and we don't have any children. No matter how hard we try, I can't get pregnant. It seems that the problem lies with my husband's body, not mine. However, we're still together, not considering divorce, and we love each other. It's lonely not having children, but we didn't get married just to have kids. I'm back. It's been getting colder lately. Are you keeping yourself warm? How was your day? Are you okay? You've been coming home late recently. Has your work kept you busy? Well, actually, I got promoted again and my salary increased. Really? That's great. Over time, we naturally developed a relationship of supporting each other like this. We were happy. Then one day, my husband had unexpected news for me. By the way, I got a call from your younger brother yesterday. Oh, really? I didn't know. It seems like he got married a few years ago, and he has a child. It's a girl. Oh, they've started a family. Why didn't they tell us anything? I guess we weren't on good terms. Maybe they started missing you when they became parents. Anyway, they said they want to come to our place this Sunday. I told them it's fine, but what do you think? They should have told us about it earlier, shouldn't they? I glanced at my husband. He quickly hid his face with a newspaper. Although my husband was acting worldly, I wanted to meet my niece. Well, whatever. I am looking forward to the meeting on Sunday. Yeah, for us who didn't have children, meeting Ernest was something we were genuinely excited about. We prepared eagerly for Sunday, wanting to make it a special day. But when the day came, my brother and his wife didn't show up at the expected time. They're late? Did they get the time wrong? That shouldn't be. I was looking forward to it too, so I checked the time multiple times. Let's give them a call. As I picked up my mobile phone, the intercom rang. Thinking that they finally arrived, my husband and I headed to the entrance together, and we opened the door. However, there was only a little girl standing there. Her hair was messy, and her clothes were dirty. Our house was located in front of a park, and sometimes we gave snacks to children playing in the park. But this girl didn't give off that kind of vibe. The girl looked up at us, her eyes darting around. What's wrong? I asked, and the girl hurriedly took out a piece of paper from her pocket. She handed it to me. When I looked at it, our home address was written on it. I was told by my dad to come here. So it was you we've been waiting for. Where are your mom and dad? The niece shook her head. They couldn't come because of work, she said. At that moment, the home phone rang. When my husband answered the phone, something seemed off. After listening to the conversation, it turned out that he suddenly had to work and wanted us to take care of their child. He said he would come to pick her up later in the evening. Well, if only they had told us that earlier. But anyway, welcome. I've put in a lot of effort just for you today, I said. I beckoned my niece and invited her inside. She closed and locked the door properly. At first, I thought to myself that she had been properly raised. However, when Minnie's took off her shoes, she placed them under the shoe cabinet. That place was covered in dust. What are you doing? Dad told me to put my shoes in this spot. It's fine. You don't have to put them under the shoe cabinet at our place, I said. My niece had a puzzled expression on her face. By the way, it's dirty here. Do you want to take a bath with Andy? I didn't mean to say anything strange, but Minnie shook her head vigorously, as if she had interpreted something strange. No, I've been told to take baths alone. It's okay to have someone with you here. No matter what I said, my niece just kept shaking her head. Well then, would you take a bath if you were alone? When I asked that, my niece nodded. Then I explained how to use the bath. After Minnie soaked in, I washed her clothes. I placed some new clothes for her and headed to the living room. Did you leave her clothes? Yes, originally those were the clothes to wear when going back. But still, that girl is a little different. Not just a little, there must be something going on. However, there was no way to figure that out. We focused on warmly welcoming Arnie's for now. When Minnie's finished bathing, her hair was clean, and she had transformed into a very adorable figure. Above all, The clothes I had given her as a present suited her well. Thank you very much. It's nothing. Come on, come over here quickly. I've put in a lot of effort just for you, I said. I invited her into the living room. After seating her in a chair, Minnie's couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Wow, surprised. I prepared everything just for you. Although it wasn't Christmas Day, we had prepared chicken, pizza, gratin, and even a cake. Can I really eat all of this? Yes, if there are leftovers, you can take them home. Finally, Minnie showed a smile on her face and started eating the feast in front of her. I could see her acting like a child, and I felt relieved. But it was short-lived. When I saw her arm peeking out from her sleeve, I was taken aback. There was no mistaking it. There was something like a bruise there. My niece kept eating, saying, "Delicious, delicious." She was crying while eating. After my niece had her fill, I guided her to the bedroom. As expected, when she lay down on the soft, fluffy bed, she quickly fell asleep. Wait, wasn't he supposed to come pick us up by tonight? Since we're here, maybe we could let her stay the night, my husband said happily. But I couldn't muster a smile. Hey, come here for a moment. What's wrong? Not knowing how to explain to my husband, I headed toward the bedroom where Arnis was sleeping. What's the matter? She might wake up, you know. Hey, take a look at this. I gently rolled up my niece's sleeve, trying not to wake her. My husband's expression changed. There were several bruises on her arms. There were some on her stomach too. There were probably some on her shoulders and legs as well. I quietly left the bedroom and returned to the living room. She's been abused. Come to think of it, there were some strange behaviors. Also, she's too thin for her age. She's not eating properly. Hey, what if we report it to the police right away? If we can take her in, let's do it. We can manage taking care of one child. Yep, you're right. We should say something. Just as we were considering taking care of Arnis, I suddenly felt dizzy. I felt nauseous. It wasn't just feeling unwell. It was something different. What's wrong? Are you okay? My husband rushed over, even more shaken than I was. Hey, are you feeling sick? No, it's not that. My period hasn't come recently, so maybe. My husband was at a loss for words. I couldn't say anything either. Just when we were about to decide whether we could take in Arnis, I didn't know how to handle the possibility of being pregnant. What should we do? We can't leave our niece like this. We agonized over it. If we left it to my brother and his wife, she might be subjected to abuse again. We couldn't allow that to happen. We were at a loss. At that moment, we heard the sound of the living room door opening. It was our niece coming in with sleepy eyes. What's wrong? You can keep sleeping a little longer. As I approached, Arnis spoke. Is Daddy still not here? I felt as if my heart had been clenched in a vice. She might never see her father again. Only if I made one phone call. Could you call Daddy for me? I didn't answer right away. As I remained silent, Arnis continued speaking. Daddy always cries and gets angry and laughs. Daddy is always kind to me, but when he gets angry, he bullies me. But I want to be with Daddy. I clenched my fist. Inside me, I felt another possibility, an alternative path. That's a choice. We don't contact the police. One wrong step, and it could have been a choice that risked losing a life right in front of you. But my niece was eagerly waiting for her father, who is my brother. Yep, just wait a moment, I said. Saying that, I left the living room and called my brother's cell phone. No answer, so I left a voicemail. I said that if they didn't call back, I would call the police. The return call came immediately, and later, I arranged a meeting with my brother. On another day, I let my brother, who came to visit, into the living room. My brother and his wife were quite flustered and couldn't even make eye contact properly. Alcohol or money, I got straight to the point. Why did they abuse their child? I asked for the reason. My brother and his wife didn't answer anything. Or rather, I should say they couldn't answer. In the first place, my brother had completely changed. He couldn't articulate his words clearly, and his voice had become even less clear. His wife, too, had shrunk almost as much as my brother. Maybe it's because they are like this. They take it out on their child. Still, if you listen to what my brother had to say within the range I could make out, it seems that the cause is trouble at work and problems in his marriage. It took me a whole hour just to hear such a simple story. It was truly tough. The two of them seemed already mentally exhausted, on the verge of losing their humanity. At this rate, someday. Hey, what if you two tried going back to your life, meaning let your niece live with us? Just come to visit her every time you have time off. How about taking some time to reflect on yourselves? The two of them looked up. Arnis truly loves you too, but if things continue like this, it will eventually become a serious incident. I don't want that to happen. Looking at my brother and his wife, their cheeks flushed, tears streaming down their faces. They probably didn't even have anyone to talk to about their problems. And while crying, my brother and his wife said just one word: thank you. I heard later that my brother and his wife were under excessive stress at work and were mentally struggling. Both of them were drowning in alcohol and were also in financial trouble. Honestly, we couldn't expect them to cover her cost of living. In the end, we needed money for both our niece and the baby in my belly, but I have no regrets about it. I can't teach Minnis the importance of life, and the same goes for my brother and his wife. At first, my brother and his wife visited our house once a week, but gradually the number of days increased, and before we knew it, we started living together. And in the 10th spring, it was the spring when Minnis became a high school student. My brother and his wife, who had completely quit drinking, saved money and took Arnis to her school entrance ceremony. But on that day, the place they returned to was not our house. They went back to a new home, the three of them. Thank you. We also attended the ceremony as if she were our own daughter. Our family celebrated her. Thanks to you, Aunt, our family didn't fall apart. Thank you so much. It's okay, don't worry about that. More importantly, continue to support your father from now on. Yeah, my brother's family and my family. The photo we took together with 6 people has been standing in the living room ever since. On that day 10 years ago, at that time, if I had called the police without listening to my brother's story, the future would have been completely different. Supporting a family was tough, but both my husband and I did our best. On a day like today, if I can send them off, I believe I can continue to support my brother's family. There must be no absolute reason to separate a family, no matter how much time has passed. I kept thinking that I made the right choice not to hand over my brother and his wife to the police. Every time I see my niece's happy smile, it brings back that memory. We faced challenges, financial struggles, and the uncertainties of raising 2 children. However, the joy of seeing Arnis grow up happily and the bond we've built as a family make every hardship worthwhile. Now, as I reflect on the journey we've been through, I realize the importance of compassion, understanding, and the power of a second chance. It's a reminder that sometimes choosing empathy over judgment can lead to unexpected transformations and the healing of broken families. In the end, our decision to embrace our niece and support my brother's family was a turning point not only for them but also for us. It enriched our lives, taught us valuable lessons, and strengthened the ties that bind us together as a family. As we continue to face life's challenges, I am grateful for the love and unity that have emerged from the choices we made on that fateful day. The photograph of our intertwined families serves as a testament to the enduring power of compassion and the belief that everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Thank you for listening to our story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content. Your support means the world to us.